Atenció, sisplau. El Real Madrid, Marcelo, amb el número 12. FCSB. Atenció, sisplau. El Real Madrid, Higuaín, amb el número 20, 102, Di Maria. La reserva suave. Ocupado por Barcelona, Adriano, amb el número 21, substitueix David Villa. Atenció, sisplau, el Real Madrid, Kaká, amb el número 8, s'ha substituït el Fofino. Aconsello ocupó con Barcelona, Keita, amb el número 15, substitueix Sergio.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Simply Learn's full course video on Google Cloud Platform. In this video, we will learn everything about GCP in detail. We will begin this full course video with what GCP is. Then we will look into GCP and its concepts in detail. Then our expert will give you a quick training on Azure services. Then we will see what's the differences between AWS and GCP. Next we'll see what GCP web hosting is. After that, we will be looking into Google Cloud Machine Learning. And finally, we will conclude this video by discussing the Google Cloud Platform Fundamentals Certification Training. By the end of this video, I can assure you that your GCP queries would have been GCP and its concepts in detail. Let's start with an exciting video on Google Cloud Provider. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to never miss an update from Simply Learn.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. So welcome to this session on Google Cloud Platform. My name is AJ and I'm an instructor with Simply Learn and also working as a big data and cloud architect for various clients across globe. In this session, we learn about Google Cloud Platform, wherein we will learn about what is cloud computing, why Google Cloud Platform, what is GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform, Google Cloud Platform domains, about a use case, that is Ferrero use case, and also a quick demo on using services from Google Cloud Platform. So when we talk about Google Cloud Platform, we also need to know what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is the use of hardware and software components to deliver a service to a network. Users can access these files and applications and services provided by a cloud provider from any device that has access to internet. In short, cloud computing is a way where cloud provider provides access to different services such as resources. And when we talk about resources here, we talk about computing, we talk about memory, we talk about processing power, we talk about storage, and we also talk about different services which cloud providers make available for the users. Now that allows us for automatic software integration, backup and restoring data, unlimited storage capacity, having a reliable use of different services, and having a cost efficient solution. Now we know that cloud computing's models, there are different service models. So you have platform as a service, you have infrastructure as a service, and you have software as a service. And these are the prominent models which are offered by different cloud providers such as Google Cloud, such as Google, you have Amazon, you have Azure, and also some organizations build their own private clouds using open source OpenStack. Let's focus more on Google Cloud Platform and what it has to offer and how it is gaining popularity in the market with different organizations which would want to work on a cloud platform or which would want to work on an infrastructure which is modernized. So when we talk about cloud computing, this is one of the approach which organizations can take to instantaneously benefit from modernization using different services, different platforms, and also newer technologies for their various requirements such as scalability or dynamic businesses. Before we get into Google Cloud Platform, it is also good to understand where you can find some useful resources about Google Cloud Platform. And here you have a website which is from your Google Cloud. So this is cloudacademy.com/library/Google. And here you can create a free account. Now that would give you just 7 days trial, but that has a lot of videos which talk about your Google Cloud Platform and essentials, and it has various certification related videos which you can access. And then after 7 days after you have tried, you can obviously go for a paid account where you can take detailed learning from here. Now this is your training library which shows your different cloud providers such as Amazon, Microsoft Azure, GCP, and then you have various other topics which are specifics to organization. You can obviously look at the pricing, and you can also look at resources which will give you a good experience in learning from these videos. You can also create a free account, which I will walk you through later. So you can create a free account on cloud.google.com. Now, when I say free account, that basically means it allows you to create an account, and every user who creates an account gets a $300 free credit, which can be used to practice, brush up your skills, and also explore and learn about different Google Cloud products which are offered by Google. Now, coming back to our Google Cloud Platform, let's understand why Google Cloud Platform. So Google Cloud Platform is popular for many reasons. Now let us see few of most important reasons why it stands out. When you talk about pricing, pricing is one of the significant factors that make Google Cloud stand out among the other cloud providers. It offers a monthly pricing plan, which is billed according to monthly usage. And when we talk about billing here, the billing can be in hours, it can be in minutes, and it can also be in seconds. There are different options when you talk about your pricing, which can be found from your Google Cloud webpage. Now, pricing could be based on preemptive machines. Pricing could be based on reserved instances or reserved resources. I'll show you the link where you can find more details on pricing part of it. So Google Cloud really has various pricing options which help customers in their different requirements, whether they would go for any of the service models such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or even software as a service. One more attractive thing about Google Cloud pricing is that it provides committed use discounts. For example, under this scheme, you can purchase a specific amount of virtual CPU cores and memory for up to 57% discount off regular prices if you commit usage for either 1 or 3 years. Now, this is just one option. There are various such options which you can learn about from the Google Cloud's page, and that really suits different customers for their different requirements. Now, when we talk about speed, we don't need to really challenge this aspect when it comes to Google services. So Google provides its Google Cloud and Google App customer speed up to 10 terabytes because of its faster cable system. There are different kind of machines which can be used if you're talking about computation, if you're talking about memory hungry applications, or even storage intensive workloads. All in all, speed is one of the defining characteristics of Google Cloud services. The cable has connections over US West Coast, main cities in Japan, and even major hubs in Asia. This speed enhances performances and leads to customer satisfaction. Now, when we talk about customers, any or every customer would prefer to have low latency, high throughput based services. They would want to use higher speeds to process their data in as less time as possible. Google provides a low latency network infrastructure. In fact, you can say that when you are using Google Cloud services, you are using the services from the same infrastructure which Google uses for its popular services such as Google Search or even YouTube, which is one of the second largest repository which can be accessed for videos. Now, when we talk about big data is data which is very complex, has a lot of other characteristics such as your volume, you have velocity, you have variety, you have veracity, validity, volatility, virality, and so on. So if an organization is working on big data, Google Cloud can be a better choice because Google has many innovative tools for cloud warehousing, for example, such as BigQuery, and even real-time data processing tools such as Dataflow. BigQuery is a data warehouse that allows massive processing of data at high speeds, basically working on your structured data. Google also has launched some new machine learning from artificial intelligence tools. Now, there are various other services which we can use from Google Cloud Platform. But let's understand what is Google Cloud Platform and what are some of the services. Even the services which are not listed here can be found in your console from Google Cloud. So what is Google Cloud Platform? GCP. It is a set of cloud computing services provided by Google that runs on the same infrastructure, as I mentioned, that Google uses for its end user products like YouTube, Gmail, and even Google Search. The various set of services offered by Google Cloud Platform are, so you have services which are specific to computing requirements. And again, in computing, you have various different options available. You have machines which are compute optimized, machines which are memory optimized, machines which are storage optimized, and also we have certain machines such as preemptive, which basically means that you could get a machine to work on at a far lesser price than any other machine. But when we talk about preemptive, these are the machines which can be requested on demand and they can be taken back by Google at any time. You have networking related services, which can be very useful when you are setting up your applications or your services across globe. You also have different services which are specific to machine learning, and organizations which would be interested in working on machine learning or artificial intelligence would be really interested in using these services. There are also innovative solutions to work on big data and big data related technologies. Now, when we talk about Google Cloud Platform domains, so we can break down these services into specifics, such as you have compute. Now, the compute service allows for computing and hosting the cloud. Now, when you talk about computing, here there are different services such as App Engine, you have Compute Engine, you have Kubernetes, you have Cloud Functions, and Cloud Run. When you talk about storage and database, so the storage and database service allows application to store media files, backups, or other file-like objects. Now, various services under this are as follows. You have cloud storage, Cloud SQL, Cloud Bigtable for unstructured data. You have Cloud Spanner, Cloud Data Store, Persistent Disks, and Cloud Memory Store. When we talk about networking, the networking service allows us to load balance traffic across resources. Now, as I mentioned earlier, resources could be your different resources which you would be using from a cloud platform, such as your devices, your instances, memory optimized or CPU optimized instances, or other resources, creating DNS records, and much more. So various services under this are VPC, that stands for Virtual Private Cloud. You have Cloud Load Balancing, Cloud Armor, Cloud CDN. You have Cloud Interconnect, DNS, and Network Service tiers. When we talk about the Big Data service, this allows us to process and query big data in cloud. Now, various services under these are as follows. You have BigQuery, Cloud, Cloud Data Proc, Cloud Composer, Cloud Data Lab, Cloud Data Prep, Cloud PubSub, which is publish and subscribing system. You have Cloud Data Studio. Now, you also have the developer tools, and developer tools service includes tools related to development of an application. Now, various services under these are as follows. That is, you have Cloud SDK, Software Development Kit, you have Deployment Manager, Cloud Source Repositories, and Cloud Test Lab. When we talk about identity and security, which is one of the primary concerns for any organization or any user who would be interested in using a cloud platform, Google Cloud really has taken care of this. So when you talk about identity and security domain, this deals with security services. Now, various services here are Cloud Identity. You have Identity and Access Management, that is Cloud IAM. You have Identity Aware Proxies. You have Cloud Data Loss Prevention API, Security Key Enforcement, Key Management Service, and many more. You also have cloud services which are related to Internet of Things. So very much would be used by organizations who would be working on IoT devices or the data generated by these devices. So various services here are Cloud IoT Core, you have Edge TPU, and Cloud IoT. Also, when we talk about cloud AI, that is artificial intelligence, this comprises of services related to machine learning and much more. So you have Cloud Auto ML, Cloud TPU, Cloud Machine Learning Engine, Job Discovery, Dialogflow Enterprise, Natural Language Cloud, Text to Speech, and much more. If you would be interested in services related to API platform, then there are different services under this category or this domain. So you have Maps platform, you have APG API platform, monetization, developer portal, analytics, that is API analytics, APG Sense, cloud endpoints, and service infrastructure. So these are some of the listing of services under each cloud platform domain. Now let's look at Ferrero use case, and let's also understand what was done here. So Ferrero is one of the famous chocolate and ranks third among worldwide chocolate and confectionery producers. It was found in 1946 in Italy. I'm sure you would have seen the Ferrero chocolates when you would have gone out to buy some chocolates. So the challenges here was that Ferrero, as we know, is sold in every supermarket and is known for its quality. Once the business grew, some issues arose, right? And that's what happens when the business grows. You have issues popping up, which could be related to the volume of data, the speed with which the data is getting generated, the variety of data, and also looking at your platforms which support different dynamic applications or your scalability requirements, performance requirements, and so on. So it needed data storage, processing, and analysis system for a wide customer database. There was a huge gap between the company and the people who bought its goods because the company relied on data given sales outlets. Now that's one of the challenge. Ferrero wanted to create a digital ecosystem where there was a point of contact with its customers and also a foundation for an innovative data-driven marketing strategy. What was the solution here? So one of the service of cloud platforms or Google Cloud Platform is BigQuery. And this was an answer to Ferrero's challenges since it was capable of hyper-fast and efficient data analysis as a solution. Now, as I mentioned, BigQuery is a data warehouse which allows you to store structured data. Now, this could directly be used as a service where you could store in any amount of data and you would not be paying for storage. So there are different pricing models, and for data up to 1 terabytes, you would not be charged anything. And if you would be accessing the data, that is reading the data or processing the data from BigQuery, that's where the pricing model kicks in. Now, using Google Cloud's BigQuery, business analysts of Ferrero were able to store and analyze massive data sets in a very reliable, fast, and affordable manner. Consumer behavior and sales pattern data reports were easy to build and automate. And the analysis also followed Ferrero to adopt advertising across various marketing channels to serve the customer needs in a better way. What was the result? They could divide their database into real-time, actionable consumer clusters to generate more accurate user profiles. Ferrero was also able to personalize its marketing strategies to match the user needs. Now, Google Cloud Platform completely tailored the website, mobile content, and advertising, and created a very cost-effective media buy strategy. Now, these were some basics on Google Cloud. Now, as I said, you can always find a lot of details about pricing, about services, and also all the services are accessible in your free trial account. Now, let me just walk you through here. So one is you could always find details on documentation on each of these services. So if I would click on getting started, you have quick start, which basically shows you short tutorials. You have trainings and you have also certifications. Now, if we click on quick start, now that takes me to this page, which shows me quick starts, or if you would want to understand about different projects, if you would want to look into the documentation of creating a Linux virtual machine or storing a file and sharing it, deploying a container, Docker container image, and so on. So you have a lot of quick starts here. You can also look at Cloud Minute. On the same page, on the right side, you have docs. And once you click on that, it takes you to these links. Now this shows you build solutions, which shows you top use cases, best practices, all the solutions. It's always good to learn from these use cases which are available. And here you have different featured products and all the different services which Google Cloud offers. Now you can click on featured products, and that basically shows you a list of these products. Now here we have all the solutions which you can look at: architecture, database, enterprise level, big data and analysis, gaming related, Internet of Things, and so on. Now if you go down here, it shows you featured products, and that shows you some of the important products such as compute engine, which is belonging to the compute domain. You have Cloud Run, you have Anthos, which is for migration and basically cloud adoption. When organizations would want to move from on-premise to cloud-based solutions, you have Vision AI, you have cloud storage. Now that basically allows you to store any kind of data, whether that's an object. So this is acting as an object storage. You have Cloud SQL, which is basically a ready-to-use service where you would be using MySQL, Postgres, or any other SQL Server database services. You have BigQuery, which is a data warehouse, which basically allows you to store your structured data. And then you have your AI and machine learning related products. So you have AutoML, Vision AI, Video AI, text to speech, speech to text, and so on. Now you also have different platform accelerators which can be used. And in any of these cases, for example, if I would click on Compute Engine, which is a featured product from Google Cloud, now that shows you basically your quick starts using your Linux machines, how-to guides, which tells you completely working on a VM instance or working on storage, working on persistent disks, and so on. And it shows you the documentation here. Now you also have products and pricing option, which you can see for GCP pricing. And you could straight away go to the pricing. You could be looking at solutions, which talks about infrastructure modernization. Now, this is something which organizations are interested in when they would want to move from their on-premise solution to your Google Cloud. Now here, I can say, for example, I click on infrastructure modernization. You can always find some case studies. What are the different solutions we have here, right? When you talk about Google Cloud. So you can always click on See Solutions, and you can look at VM migration or SAP Cloud, right? Why Google Cloud, what it can be used for, VMware as a service, or HPC, that is high performance computing. And about these services, we will learn in detail later. Now I can go back on the same page where I was clicking on the services. So you have quick starts, you have how-to guides, you have deep understanding of different concepts, right? And here, if I click on all how-to guides, so that shows me what are the different ways in which you can work with compute engine and working with different instances. Although it's quite exhaustive content, but then if you follow steadily, then you can learn a lot about Google Cloud. Now here, I can just go back. So this is just giving you some idea on the different products which are available from Google Cloud, looking into different sections, finding right documentation here, right? And you can always look into each one of these in detail for each product which Google Cloud offers. Now, if we scroll down, we could see all the options or all the domains which we see here, right? Let me just go back because we got into solutions. Now we have quick starts, right? And then you can basically scroll all the way down to look at Cloud SDK, which can be set up on your Windows machine, like I have set it up on my Windows machine. Plus, when you use Google Console, you have a GUI, which I'll show you in a couple of minutes, and also a Cloud Shell where you can use your command line options to work with Google Cloud Platform. You have Cloud Console, which is nothing but your GUI to access your resources. Now you can also look at in-depth tutorials, pricing, and you have different other options. So let's just click on pricing here. And then we have your price list, which basically gives you details of different services, what are available, and what are the services or what are the prices. So for example, if I click on Compute Engine, right, and this shows me the pricing aspect of Compute Engine, which belongs to Compute Domain. And here you can see you have VM instance pricing, you have networking pricing, sole tenant nodes, which are specific to particular organizations, Or if organizations would want to have dedicated nodes, you have GPU based pricing, right? So general processing units, you have disk and image pricing, and you can click on any of the links and you can see pricing, which also shows you your different kind of machine types. So here you have different kind of machine types, which says N1, N2, N2D, E2. You have memory optimized machine types, you have compute optimized, you have premium images, and you can basically look at all the categories. You can look at disk pricing, which involves your persistent disk pricing for SSDs or HDDs. What are the kind of images, what are the different network services, right? And you can always look at your machine types. You can choose a particular region, right? There is the concept of region and availability zones here, and as per region you could look at the prices. You can also look at standard prices. You could be looking for what are the free tier machines. If I'm specifically looking for VM instance pricing, I can click on this one, and that takes me to the VM instance pricing. What is the billing module? What is the instance uptime? What is the resource-based pricing? And then you can also look at different kind of discounts, such as sustained use discounts, committed use discounts, discounts for preemptible VM instances, and so on. And this is how you can be looking at pricing for all different resources. And you can choose the resource which you are interested in, and then look for the pricing, benchmarks, reservations if you would want to use and you would want to benefit, if you would want to look at what are the quotas and limits, and so on. So please explore this link and you can find a lot of information when it comes to technical options, looking at different Google Cloud products, which we briefly discussed when it comes to domains and what each product can be used for. You can always come back to the main page where I was showing you different services. We went into pricing straight away, right? Now you can always come back to this page on your cloud.google.com, and then you have your solutions, which talks about different products, right? And you can click on these, or you can look into technical documentation. So this talks about your different featured solutions, infrastructure solutions, you have data center migration related, and so on. So I could be talking more and more about Google Cloud Platform. It's a ocean. It's a huge chunk of different services for different organizational requirements. So look into this link. And also what you can do is create a account on Gmail. I mean, you could create a free account, or you could go to cloud.google.com and then you could create a free account like I have created here, and I can just click on console. Now that's my GUI, or Google Cloud Console, which basically allows me to work with Google Cloud. Now there are a lot of options here. By default, when you create an account, now in my case, on the top it says it's a free trial account. I have $300 credit, and out of that $251 is left, and 237 days out of a year are left for my account. Now here I can basically see the project, right? And by default we can create a project, or by default there is a project existing for any user. So when you log in, it creates a particular project, and you could create a new project, and project would be to dedicate your different services or different resources per different project. So this is your dashboard, which basically shows your project, which shows you a project number and a project ID, which is always unique. Now you can click on this, and this, if you would want, you can hide this information. You can also look into the documentation part of it. Then it shows you the different services, or a graphical information of services which you might have used in past. So you have compute engine, which shows you how much percentage of CPU was used. You can always go to compute engine as a service. You can look at your Google Cloud Platform status and look at the Google Cloud status. Now this is billing. Now since this shows me the billing period for April month, and I can always look at detailed charges. I can look at reporting. I can look at different APIs which Google offers. And for your different kind of work, you can always go to the API overview or the API link and enable or disable any API. Now, once you enable or disable any API, then you can use that. So you have news section, you have documentation, and you have getting started guides, which tells you how to work or enable different APIs. If you would want to deploy a pre-built solution, add dynamic logging, monitoring errors, deploying a Hello World app, and so on. Now this is your dashboard. I can click on activity, and that would show me what kind of activity I would have done in my cloud platform. I can always choose the kind of activities by saying activity type. I can choose the resources. Now it shows me that I created some VM instances, I deleted them, I updated some metadata, I basically worked on instances, I changed some firewall rules here. I have then also worked on some other services or APIs. So I created some buckets, which is for object storage. And again, I have been working with some instances and creating some firewall rules. Here, I have granted some permissions. I am setting up a policy, right? So this activity gives me a history of what things I have done over the past couple of months while working on Google Cloud Platform. Now, on the top left corner, you have the hamburger menu, which you can click on this. So that's your navigation menu. And when you click on this, this shows you home. It takes you to the marketplace. It specifically takes you to billing. You can always look at APIs and services. So here in API services, I can pretty much go to a dashboard and I can see a report on the traffic or errors or latency and the kind of APIs which are available. So you have Compute Engine API, you have BigQuery API, BigQuery Data Transfer API, BigQuery Storage, Cloud Data Proc. So these are some of the APIs or services I've used in past. Might be I was evaluating a product, might be I was using a particular product. So you have, whenever you would want to use a particular service from Google Cloud Platform, you would be enabling these APIs. So here we see some APIs for data proc. You have logging, monitoring, you have resource manager API, you have cloud SQL, which allows you to directly use MySQL or Postgres, you have cloud storage, right? And so many APIs. So if I would want to enable a particular API, which is not right now required, but then it's good to know, you can always click on this one. You can search for an API. So for example, if I would say data proc, right? And that shows me the cloud data proc API, which manages Hadoop based clusters and jobs on Google Cloud Platform. So I can spin up a Hadoop cluster and I can start running some jobs on a Hadoop cluster on demand. And as I'm done with it, I can just get rid of it. So this is an API which I would have to enable. And then for every particular service, you also have an admin API, which you would enable. Now going back, so coming out from this API library, I got into API and services. Now there is, you can look into the library, you can look at credentials, and you can also look at different time intervals for which you can see the usage of your different APIs. Now going back to the menu, you have support, wherein you can always reach out to the Google support team if you are using a paid version. Even with free trial, you can try to reach out and you will find someone to help, but it is always good when you have a billing cycle, reaching out the customer care. You have identity access management and admin, and this is required when you're working with different APIs or services, when you would want to have relevant access. You have getting started, you have security related options, you have Anthos, which is mainly for migration. Now here you can look at your different domains, such as which we discussed. So you have compute, and in compute you have different services. So you have App Engine, you have Compute Engine, Kubernetes, you have Cloud Functions and Cloud Run. You can look into the storage aspect, which shows you Bigtable, which is usually and mainly for your unstructured data. Bigtable, which is something which gave rise to popular NoSQL databases like HBase and Cassandra. You have Data Store, which can be used. You have Firestore, File Store, Storage, which can be used to put in data of any kinds. You have SQL for structured data. You have Spanner as a service. You have Memory Store, and you have Data Transfer. Now, when it comes to the networking domain, you have all these services such as VPC, Virtual Private Network, network related services for your load balancing, for using a cloud-based DNS or cloud-defined network. You have hybrid connectivity, network service tiers, security, and intelligence. Then you have other options for your operations which can be used. And here you have different other tools which can be used, such as cloud build. You have cloud tasks, container registry, deployment manager, and many more. Big data specific, you have the services here. So you have Dataproc, which can be used to spin up your clusters. You have publish subscribe messaging systems such as now Kafka, which you might have heard of, originates its idea from here. So PubSub, you have Dataflow, you have IoT Core, BigQuery, which is a data warehouse package or data warehousing solution from Google Cloud. Now, then you have your artificial intelligence related services and other Google solutions. So you can always find a huge list of services, or you can say at high level solutions offered by Google Cloud. And we can use these to basically test some of the solutions, use them, and work on them. So I'll give you a quick demo on different services which can be used here from your Google Cloud platform. Now this is your Google Cloud platform and this is your console. Now this also gives you a Cloud Shell which can be activated so that you can work from command line, and you can always find a lot of documentation on that. So you can also set up your Cloud Shell, that is SDK, on your Windows machine. And if you have set it up, then basically you could be doing something like gcloud, right? If the cloud has been set up. So in my case, I had set up the Cloud SDK, and basically I can get into that by looking at what path I have set up. So Cloud SDK, and then I can be using it from my Windows machine as per my comfort. I can also activate the Cloud Shell here, which will basically open up a terminal. And at any point of time, you can open up this one Cloud Shell in a different window. It is preparing the Cloud Shell where it will by default set up your project. It will set up the metadata. And now I am logged into my Google Cloud account from command line. And here I can basically use gcloud, right? And that basically shows you the different options which are available, which you can be using. So if you would want to use a particular service, you can also try giving a help, and that shows you how do you manage your Google Cloud platform, right? So you have different options for billing, to work with your different services, and basically you could be working on Google Cloud using this Cloud Shell from your command line. Usually for people who are learning Google Cloud in the beginning, it is always good to go for console and use your different services from here in an easier way. But as I said, you can always use the command line. For example, if I would just go ahead and type gcloud create instances, and that will directly take me to the Cloud Console documentation, which shows you different options which you can use to work with instances. So I could do a gcloud compute instances create, and then I can give my instance name and so on. And I'll show you some examples on that. So you can be using your Cloud Console, right? That is your Cloud Shell, and you can straight away start working from command line. However, I would suggest using console in the beginning, and when you are well experienced, then you can start using Cloud Shell to do things from command line. And when you are fully experienced, you can always switch, and certain things are usually useful or easier when done from command line, and some are easier when you do it from the console. And you can use any one of these options. Now we can go to Google Cloud Console. Now, as of now, I can close this one. I still have my Cloud Shell open. If I would want to look into it, I can click on this one and I can straight away go to Compute Engine, where I would want to work on creating some instances on Google Cloud Platform using the Compute Engine service, and then basically connecting to those instances and basically trying out some basic things. So you can click on VM instances, and then once this comes up, I can always create some instances. Now, if you see here, I have some instances already created, right? And I can continue working on those. I can create new instances. I can use different options while creating instances, and I'll show you that in a demo in quick seconds. So let's have a quick demo on setting up GCP instances. Now, before that, let's have a quick recap. So when you talk about instance or a virtual machine, it is hosted on Google's infrastructure, right? And you can create your Google Cloud instance using this Google Cloud Console. That is by clicking on this and then going to Compute Engine and clicking on VM instances. Now, you can also do that from Google Cloud command line tool, that is Cloud Shell, and you can be doing that using Compute Engine API. So Compute Engine instances can run the public images for Linux or Windows servers that Google provides. You also have option of creating or using custom images that you can create and import from your existing systems. You can deploy Docker containers which are automatically launched on instance running containers, optimized OS. Now, when you talk about instances and projects, always remember that in each instance belongs to a Google Cloud Console project, and a project can have one or more instances. When you talk about instances and storage options, each instance has a small boot persistent disk, which I will show you in further screens, that contains the OS. You can add more storage space if needed. And when you talk about instances and network, a project can have up to 5 VPC networks. So VPC network is virtual private networks, wherein you can virtual private cloud networks, where you can have your resources within your own subnet. And each instance belongs to one VPC network. Now, instances in same network can communicate with each other through local area network protocol. An instance uses internet to communicate within any machine. So that could be virtual, physical, or outside its own network. When you talk about instances and containers, you should remember that Compute Engine instances support a declarative method for launching your application using containers. Now you can create a VM instance or a VM instance template. You can provide a Docker image and launch the configuration. So there are different ways in which you can create these instances. And once you create these instances, you can say, for example, you're creating a Linux instance. You can associate SSH keys with your Google account or your G Suite account, and then manage your admin, non-admin access to the instance using IAM roles. If you connect to your instance using G Cloud or SSH from console, which we will see later, Compute Engine can generate SSH keys for you and apply that to your Google Cloud or G Suite account. Now, what we can do is we can see how we can create your Google Cloud instances from your console or from the command line. Let's have a look in creating instances using GCP console. Now that we have learned on some basics of Google Cloud Platform, what are the different services, what are different domains, basically looking at your Google Cloud Console or even Cloud Shell. Let's go ahead and create some VM instances. Now that's from your Compute Engine service. And let's try connecting to these instances and see how this works. Let's also see what are the different options which are available when you would want to create the virtual machine instances here. So when you click on your drop down from the top left and choose Compute Engine, so it brings you to this page. So I can show that again. So you can click on Compute Engine, click on VM instances, and that basically brings you to this page. Now here it tells you Compute Engine lets you use virtual machines that run on Google's infrastructure. So we can create micro VMs or large